Air Raid BC, baby. Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football, breaking down the game we love each and every day. Spring games all over the place on Saturday. I checked out Boston College as well. And under Jeff Hafley, they are becoming quite the passing offense. Yes, at BC. And if you're a nerd like me that loves to get into the stats and the trends and the facts and all that other business, and you go back about 5 years, Boston College under Steve Addazio had the worst passing offense in the country for 2 to 3 years, other than the service academies, of course. Now under Jeff Hafley, the 121st rated passing offense in 2019 became the 24th best, with, of course, you had Phil Jerkovic at quarterback as well at 284 yards passing per game. Like the videos, share the videos on social media, and please subscribe. This is why we ask you to share the videos, because we need to grow the channel. The channel will exist and thrive and succeed based on your contributions, not based on what I'm doing, because I'm doing the same thing I was doing a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I'm doing the same thing. It is based on your actions. You help us grow. You help us succeed. People on social media don't know we're here talking college football every day. Please share the videos. All right. Yeah, Boston College became a passing offense last year, and Phil Jerkovic from Notre Dame was beyond impressive. I loved watching him play. This Boston College team has 8 starters back on offense, 9 on defense. Now, one of the big missing links, of course, is running back David Bailey, and also tight end Hunter Long, who's off to the NFL after catching 57 passes last year. We'll get to those voids in just a second. The defense forced 21 turnovers. That was third best in the ACC last year. This is a pretty talented football team. I'm going to have to reassess my thought process concerning Boston College football heading into 2021 after watching today's game and gathering the information that I did. Jeff Hafley, what a job he did in recruiting last year. The 8th best class in the ACC, according to 247 Sports, numbered 37 in the country. Okay? 37th best class in the country in 2021 compared to the previous 4 classes that ranked 71, 67, 64, and 62, all the way up to number 37. Jeff Hafley doing a heck of a job. He's got Zay Flowers back at wide receiver. He could have gone to the NFL. He caught 56 and 9 touchdowns last year. They have, and I'm not going to sell these guys as great wide receivers, but they've got depth at wide receiver with guys that have athleticism and speed and size in most cases, unlike anytime ever. Jalen Gill, the Ohio State transfer, caught 29 passes last year and a touchdown. Kobe White, of course, was a huge contributor in the past. Did not play last year. C.J. Lewis caught 28 passes and 3 touchdowns last year. Also, Ethan Williams is a physical specimen. Jelani Galloway had 18 catches last year and 3 touchdowns. And maybe the most impressive, at least on this Saturday, was Taji Johnson. Big guy. Very impressive. Hands, speed, size, the full combination. They got Ron Dane's son at running back. He's not necessarily going to be a huge contributor, but he did play. Dennis Grosel, as the senior backup quarterback, is capable. He had to play the game against Virginia last year and played extremely well in replacing Jerkovic, who tossed 17 touchdowns with only 5 interceptions last year, 14 of 20 for $196 and 2 touchdowns. 14 early enrollees in a class of 26 played today. Number 83, Lewis Bond, was impressive. The 13th rated all-purpose back in the nation coming out of Illinois. He made a couple great catches, including one that was called out of bounds, but it was awfully close in the back of the end zone, and he was parallel to the ground. Xavier Coleman, 54th rated running back in the nation out of New Jersey. He will probably be a factor. Boston College running more plays than just about anybody outside the service academies, of course. Under center. Again, David Bailey's a big loss in the transfer portal. 1,600 rushing yards and 18 career touchdowns. Another NFL legacy player here, Drew Kendall, son of Pete Kendall. You may remember him. He's a freshman center who was the number 1 rated player in Massachusetts. 9th rated offensive guard in the country and a top 150 player. Boston College doesn't get a whole lot of top 150 players in the nation. They got one here in Drew Kendall. So he may be pressed into action. Although the offensive line looks pretty good. All 5 offensive line starters are back, plus backups 1 and 2. So the top 7 offensive linemen are back for this team. The defensive line was not good last year. That's probably the one position that needs to be upgraded severely. And there's some hope there. Back to the offensive line, and I'm all over the place, I know, with the positions because my notes are all over the place. But back to the offensive line with the top 7 players back, including Zion Johnson, who was a guard last year, moved to tackle, would have been a top 50 pick in the NFL draft. Decided to come back. Huge. Again, at the tight end position, Hunter Long, you're going to see him most likely selected probably on Friday at the NFL draft. He's gone. Charlie Gordiernier, 4 catches, 56 yards on Saturday. And also Brendan Smith, 4 catches, 42 yards. They're vying for the position. Behind the defensive line, you've got a linebacker transfer from Temple and Isaiah Graham Mobley. Had 151 tackles at Temple in 4 seasons with 5 sacks, so he's experienced. They're thin at linebacker, not a whole lot of players there. Not much experience, but they believe that they're faster, speedier at linebacker than they've been in a long time. In the defensive backfield, look out for freshman C.J. Burton. They talked a lot about him during the broadcast, and so did Jeff Hafley when they interviewed him. But he actually showed it during the spring game as well. 12th rated cornerback in the country. Number 177 regardless of position. There's another top 200 player going to Boston College. That does not typically happen. Hafley says he's an amazing player, and he looks it already. C.J. Burton. And, of course, the Florida State transfer, Jaden Lars Woodby, who had 106 tackles in his career in Tallahassee, is really hyped up to be at Boston College. He's a leader, according to Hafley. That's what I see out of Boston College. I see more playmaking ability at wide receiver. I see very little proven at running back, but they've got some options. So it's a pass-happy offense. Suddenly at BC with a top 10 to 15 quarterback in the country, with the depth they have at wide receiver. They're hurting a bit at tight end and at running back, but the offensive line is tremendous. The defensive line, not so much. The linebackers, okay. The secondary, really good. That's our take on Boston College football. Their big non-conference game this year is against Mizzou. Leave your comments down below. We will continue with spring wrap-ups if we get the views. If we don't, I'm not going to continue to watch spring games, but I've got Maryland, Michigan State, Georgia Tech, and Pitt on the DVR. We're coming back Sunday with Tennessee and Texas as well. Right here at the Voice of College Football. Please share the videos on social media. Did I mention that? And when you do your shopping, shop at Amazon. Right here at the Voice of College Football. See you next time.